Hey fam, welcome back to our channel.
Today we're discussing about grief. Yes, sad as it may be, it really does happen. And sometimes these seasons come with so much pain and we do not know how to handle them. So today we want to share maybe our experiences with grief and maybe things that we've learned through that season and things that we've been able to overcome. And we hope that you'll be encouraged. Yeah, and you'll be blessed. So girls, have you gone through grief?
Yeah.
You have. You lost someone who was close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have. And we the beauty of change of seasons is that we all react to these things differently. Yeah. So maybe you can tell us how you, if you're comfortable to share, you can tell us who you actually lost. And of course there are a couple of people, but which season really hit you hard and how you're able to overcome it.
Okay, let me start. Number one, I don't know how to grieve. So this topic is personal, but not also personal for me because I just don't know how people grieve and I don't know how to react when someone is grieving. So that's number one. So in 2019 December, I got a call when I was working that my auntie had passed on. So this was one of my favorite aunties. She still is. And yes, so I think that one, it took a toll on me. So I was working in a very crazy place. So yes, I continued working as normal, which is the weirdest thing because I think when someone hears someone has died, the first thing is you want to go home. But me, I was the opposite. I wanted to work because that is the only way that would keep me busy. I wanted to work. I didn't take any calls from my mom, I think, because I don't know how to react when someone else is crying. I'm just that kind of person. I don't know what to tell you when you're crying. So they're like, no, start to call your mother, start to call your my aunties, start to call my cousins because most of them are the emotional type. Yes. So I didn't pick any, and I worked, and I really worked, and I was so preoccupied the whole night until around 2 apple. That really hit me, by the way. So inamaanisha hatakuwa tena ama like that was because I remember I tried calling her on the phone just to be sure. Is it really ukweli? Yes. So it really hit home. After I called and someone else picked the phone, I was like, okay, it's not her. So yes. The following day I came home. I called my supervisor and I was like, okay, my aunt passed on. I'm not able to come to work. And it was so weird because I was like, how are you? But I didn't know how to. I was okay. I was not okay, but for me I was okay. I was like, after the burial, I'll come and explain everything later. But for now, let me just handle this thing. And I was like the big girl in the family. So yes. But I remember I didn't go to any. I don't know how to go to burial arrangements. So that is just one of the things. That is my grieving way. I don't know how to go to burial arrangements. I didn't do anything actually. So if they needed something, they could have called and told me, by the way, this is what you're needing. Then if it's a cost, wangeniambia ni cost alafu, I just said, but I wouldn't go. I didn't see my mom until I think the burial day. I even took selfies on the burial day before the actual funeral. I took selfies. I was okay. It was I wasn't happy, but I was okay. Nilikuwa na handle watoi. I was just the cool one. And I even talked to the bride at the funeral. But I was really affected. And one of the things that I learned is I was okay with. I had already let go, but it was a very difficult decision for me to accept that she'll no longer be there. And they kept on asking, and now I was calling my mom Molisa, umekula. I wouldn't ask the emotional things at you, how are you? Nikamuliza, umekula. Uko poa. But singemuliza how she's doing emotionally because I didn't want to associate with the emotional side of other people because now it will trigger me back. So I would ask the crazy things. Tukienda huko, I'd watch comedies, nothing yenye iko na machozi, nothing emotional. I just watch the comedies and all the action, but nothing emotional. And yes, so I realized I grieve very differently from the rest. And I feel like people need to understand that people grieve differently. Just because I don't cry doesn't mean that I'm not hurt. Doesn't that just because I don't come to the burial arrangements doesn't mean that I don't care. It just means that is how I'm dealing with these things. And now 2 years later, I think I've just learned how to be myself when I'm grieving. I've learned how to trust in God even in the hardest of things. And also I've learned what not to say to someone that is grieving. So the things that people would tell me at that time, I was like, just don't say anything. Yeah, just don't. If you're coming to see me, come, let's eat, then go. Don't tell me anything about her. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about work. Let's talk about something that does not really directly relate to that. Just keep me company, not negative company, just positive company. So I've learned what not to say and what to say. But there's things that I'm still not able to do, like going for the burials and all. I'd be there for you, like I'd pray for you. I'd call you like once or twice because also I don't. But I've learned to keep my distance when you're grieving. I'd let you be when you're grieving, so that because I understand that my mouth might not necessarily say the things that you want. So let me just keep quiet and let me give you space so that you'll be able to heal from that season. Yeah.
Wow.
I think what I get from Imelda before, I think all of us have grieved in one way or the other. And also, grief is a process.
Yeah.
It's a process, and it's a highly individual experience.
Yeah, it's so personal.
It's an individual experience, and there's no right or wrong way to grieve. Because we all grieve differently. So I think for me, I have multiple times, I think I can remember I've experienced grief. Ever since I think I was young. Like I lost my grandpa when I was around 6. And then later on, when I was around 10, I lost my sister. And then when I was around 14, I lost my dad. And then when I was around 2017, I lost my grandmother. So I think for me, I have experienced grief, and how I handle it might not be the same way Imelda handles grief. For me, I think showing up also helps me overcome that whole experience. Just being there and hit by the way she or he is not there anymore. And of course, there are those backsides when you get back to your own closet that unaanzanga tu kufikiria by the way mtu hayuko by this time on. And then I think for us, even as Africans or as Christians, it hits us that really the person is gone when they are lowered down the coffin.
That's when it hits.
That is when our reality really kicks in. When you're throughout the week, when you guys are okay and burial preparations, it's not usually when people are there, because people are usually there in that whole season before the burial. And then after the burial, people withdraw and they leave, they go back to their homes. That is when now it begins to hit home that this person, you no longer see them in the house, you're no longer with them, you're seeing their clothes but they're not there. So that is where now the whole process begins. So I would say it's pretty much a hard experience, but also it's a space you can always come out of.
Wow, so grief is so personal.
Yeah, it is.
It's so personal.
Yeah.
Grief is so personal.
And I think we should always, respect how usione mtu hali kwa mazishi, you're like, gosh,
you're strong
hali.
Kweli yako anapenda huyo mtu.
Yeah, true. So I think people are totally different. Very different.
Wow. I think one thing that I'd really like to say is that I think we are taught how to deal with excitement, how to deal with so much that comes forth, but grief has no manual. Like I won't tell you you're grieving in the wrong way, or you're grieving in the right way, or you've taken a bit longer than expected. Because it doesn't come with a manual. I remember some time back we lost a friend.